teaching and learning processes, and we really
Good morning, everyone. I'm reading this morning from the Bible of 1 Corinthians chapter 13. If I speak in the tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, I am a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. And if I have prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. If I give away all I have, and if I deliver my body to be burned, but have not love, I gain nothing. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful. It is not arrogant or rude. Love does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrong, but rejoices in the right. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. As for prophecies, they will pass away. As for tongues, they will cease. As for knowledge, it will pass away. For our knowledge is imperfect, and our prophecy is imperfect. But when the perfect comes, the imperfect will pass away. When I was a child, I spoke like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I gave up childish ways. For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall understand fully, even as I have been fully understood. So faith, hope, love abide, these three. But the greatest of these is love.
I would now like to welcome up our faculty speaker, Ms. Vasquez.
I've had the honor to be a member of this community for 3 years. I've had the privilege of teaching students like you and work with colleagues like your teachers. First, I want to thank Mr. Bertozzi and Mr. Bland for providing me the opportunity to reflect on my time here and share with you the lessons I've learned along the way. Like most of you 8th graders, I feel like these last 3 years have been the slowest, yet fastest years of my life. I already experienced middle school as a student, but it feels like I experienced the middle grades all over again here at Milton. In my first year, I was like all of you 6th graders. I held back trying to find myself in this larger, newer community. I was preoccupied with trying to figure out where the ACC, CSG, and AMC all were. I was finding my way, gathering confidence, and in awe of those around me. In my second year, I was like all of you 7th graders. I felt more comfortable, decided to take more risks, and slowly started to find a place for myself in this community. In my third year, I was like all of you 8th graders. More leadership, more responsibility, and I finally knew where all the buildings were. I had found my voice, felt like I had finally found my place, and then quickly, my time was up. As I reflect on my time here, I think about what we've all been through in the last year and a half. Who knew how differently our lives would change? We've struggled through the loneliness of remote learning and the isolation of social distancing. We've gained new perspectives on the small pleasures of life, like being able to see each other's smiles. We have not only faced COVID, but have added our voices to the collective cry to dismantle systemic racism and provide a better and safer life for people of color. When Mr. Bertozzi asked me to deliver a speech today, he said, just share what you learned. Well, that's much easier said than done. I could talk for hours about what I learned just in the last year. For example, on the first day of school, I learned how to be vulnerable from Miss Matthew and Mr. Armand. I learned what courage looks like when James, Nia, Emily, and Gavin delivered their passionate 8th grade talks. They demanded that our community do better, and I will carry their voices with me as I move forward. I learned what leadership looks like from watching 6th graders take ownership of GASP and DEI presentations. And I learned what true friendship and community look like from my cohort 8C. Although I won't stand here for hours telling you all the specific lessons I have learned from each one of you. But I will take some moments to summarize the larger lessons I gathered as I walked through these hallways, engaged in conversations with your teachers, and watched 3 years of Milton students find their path. Don't be afraid of taking risks in the areas you fear most, for that is when significant growth occurs. Be courageous and pursue every opportunity that presents itself. Continue to explore who you are, what you stand for, and how to manage the pressures others place on you and the immense expectations you place on yourself. Once you know who you want to be and what you stand for, don't back down. Just be you. Continue to pursue your passions wholeheartedly and without hesitation. Most importantly, engage in this community and embrace the uncomfortable conversations. Look around you. If others are outraged, then stop and reflect. Get past that discomfort, demand more from yourself. Do research, take action, speak up, even in the small moments you feel are wrong. Show up because you have no other choice. Ignoring, hiding, or not engaging in conversations around social justice cannot be an option. This must be the point of no return. You need to leave your place of comfort and get into it. You cannot have a safety net that you allow yourself to fall back into. Recognize the strength of your voice and the power you have to make a change. Never give up on demanding that people around you be kinder and more empathetic individuals. Your voice is unique and your voice is needed. When you are lost, lonely, frustrated, or scared, remember that, like Miss King says, we can do hard things. And lastly, you won't always do or say the right things, and that is okay. You will stumble and you will make mistakes. The important thing is to continue to grow and continue to learn. In moments of doubt, and there will always be moments of doubt, remember what you believe in and the values you aspire to live by. Yes, all of these lessons I gathered from you and the people that you have the privilege to be taught by. These lessons were the ones that gave me the encouragement and motivation to pursue a different direction in my life. It is because of all of you that I have the courage to embrace the unknown and the challenges of leaving this community. I am truly grateful to every member of this community for making me a stronger, more passionate person. 8th graders, take time to reflect on the lessons you've learned these last 3 years, as I did. Embrace them. You will be surprised about what they empower you to do next. Go show the world what it should be. We all have our journeys, and I am lucky to have had Milton and all of you be a part of mine. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Vasquez. Just a note about format quickly as we head into the awards. If you receive an award, I'm going to ask you after your grade level dean has said your name to come up here. You'll receive the award from your grade level dean, and then I will fist bump you and Mr. Bland will fist bump you, and then you can sit down. Sound good? All right. 8th graders will do something very similar tomorrow. If you don't know what to fist bump, it's like that. Okay, here we go. We are now going to proceed with the presentation of the Grade 6 Citizenship Awards. These awards go to students who, as members of the 6th grade class, best exemplify the values of respect, integrity, and ethical behavior in our middle school through their initiative in the community, their selfless deeds, and their deep character that has bettered us all. Previous recipients include Desi Duvall, Zach Ibrahim, Evita Tadani, Jana Amin, Teddy Pyle, Abby Bonato, James Millington, Henry Darling, Amelia Solomon, Omar Hamoda, Soraya Darvish, Gavin Thomas, Kenzie Carty, Carmel Jagaselvin, and Avanish Siruveri. Sorry, Avanish. I would like to welcome Ms. Arsenault, our grade 6 dean, to announce this year's recipients of these citizenship awards.
Good morning, everyone. The first recipient of the Grade 6 Citizenship Award has been recognized by her peers for her inclusivity, empathy, and sense of responsibility. Her classmates share that she always includes everyone in whatever she is doing. She doesn't judge anyone, follows the rules, and is always thinking ahead. She is responsible. She respects teachers and students. She always thanks people for hard work. A peer shares that she has helped me whenever I asked. If I am feeling down, she is always there. And if I don't want to share what's bothering me, she respects that. She is kind to everyone and is probably the nicest person I know. Classmates continue to echo these sentiments, writing that she is always kind and does the right thing. She's always nice no matter the circumstance, and she treats everyone with respect and kindness. Additionally, they write that she is always engaging in important causes and trying to help solve them, and note that she is hardworking, thoughtful, and inclusive. It is an honor and privilege to recognize the first recipient of this year's Grade 6 Citizenship Award, Ava Darvish. The second recipient of the Grade 6 Citizenship Award has been recognized by her peers for her leadership, authenticity, and positivity. Her classmates share that she is always nice and tries to bring positive energy to the classroom. Multiple peers mentioned that she is never afraid to stand up for what is right. For example, she has said, "Don't use that word. Hate is a strong word." She always makes sure to stand up for others. When she sees any injustices, she will speak up. Additionally, they note that she is respectful, honest, and always tries to make everyone feel good. She talks in important conversations and listens very well. She demonstrates respect and integrity because she is kind to others, and she is a natural born leader. Whenever someone is not doing what they're supposed to be doing, she kindly reminds them what is right. She always makes people laugh, and she is very committed to what she does. Finally, she has been recognized as a person who is true to herself and an inspiring role model in her cohort. It is an honor and privilege to recognize the second recipient of this year's Grade 6 Citizenship Award, Ava Pies. And the third recipient of the Grade 6 Citizenship Award has been recognized by her peers for her kindness, responsibility, helpfulness, and respect for others. Her classmates share that she always cares for you and shows a lot of respect to you if you feel down or hurt. She also tries to resolve conflicts, includes everyone, and always tells the truth. She helps when you need it and always puts people before herself. Consistently, her classmates speak of her respectful behavior, noting that she treats everyone with respect and kindness, she holds respect for everyone, and she shows respect when she disagrees. She respects our opinion and then presents hers. Additionally, they note that she is the most responsible person in our cohort and has never been known to stray from the schoolwork. She has always been passionate about school. She is always wanting to make sure people are doing the right thing. She has been, in a way, the voice of reason for our cohort. She is also very honest and she speaks up for people. It is an honor and privilege to recognize the third recipient of this year's Grade 6 Citizenship Award, Adair Johnson. Thank you.
It's okay, Adair. We're good. Thank you, Ms. Arsenault, and congratulations to those sixth graders. We will now present the Grade 7 awards, which are the Richard E. Sherbrooke Memorial Award, presented by the class of 1963, and the Edward R. Foley Award. The Grade 7 awards are presented to students in the 7th grade who, in relationship to with their classmates, best illustrate the qualities of consideration, unselfishness, and responsibility traditionally valued by the school. Previous recipients include Garvin McLaughlin, Kayla Matthew, Jack Burden, Scarlett Bridgen, William Charles, Julia Torrey, Omar Hamoda, Soraya Darvish, Gavin Thomas, and Kenzie Carty. Are you reading this one or am I reading it? Okay. I will begin by sharing a bit of history about the Edward R. Foley Award. Edward R. Foley joined the Milton Academy faculty in the summer of 1969. Hired by the lower school principal, Elizabeth G. Betty Buck, to create a co-ed 7th and 8th grade program added to the lower school, which at the time was K-6, Mr. Foley developed the core curriculum, coordinated the faculty, and admitted new students from the greater Boston area to complement current grade 6 students. Mr. Foley served as the middle school director at Milton for 23 years. Mr. Foley was highly supportive of the extraordinary academic, artistic, and athletic opportunities that his students enjoyed, but he spent a great deal of time emphasizing the role of character in each student's development. Being a kind, caring, and considerate person in relationships with peers was essential. With this focus in mind, the middle school advisor team surprised Mr. Foley at his last middle school award ceremony by naming the Class 7 Award in his honor. Over 25 years later, Mr. Foley continues to appear at this assembly to present the award. He wishes he could be together with us in celebration, and sends his heartfelt congratulations to the award recipients. To share a bit about the second award, the Richard E. Sherbrooke Memorial Award, we will now show a video of John Grandin, class of 1963, describing a bit about the award.
Good morning. This is John Grandin from the class of 1963, And I started in the 7th grade at Milton Academy, 6th class in 1957. So that's a long time ago, certainly for me and probably for everyone in this room. I've done this a number of times in person, awarding prizes at this very nice ceremony, which I think is one of the better things that Milton does. And now it's a virtual meeting, and I think it was last year too when David Taylor, my classmate, spoke. So it's really important to sort of evaluate how we can become better citizens, and this is all about character and doing good in the community. And I like that concept, and I think Milton does a good job with that. And I enjoyed my years at Milton very much. And so it's also more important than your last test or your last game you won or lost, or how much money you might make in some way. And it's really about being a good citizen and a member of the community. And Dick Sherbrooke was that, and he exemplified that in our class. I was a new member of the school then, and he sat near me in Warren Hall, where we all wore coats and ties. So I thought I'd wear a coat and tie today to kind of remember that. And all the classes had coats and ties back in those days. And Dick was a small guy. He was short in stature, but had a huge heart, and was always willing to be thoughtful about others and considerate and caring and unselfish and responsible. So we wanted to remember those characteristics going forward and find other members who could follow in his footsteps. And the school has done that every year now for a long time. And I think it's an important aspect of what you learn in school, that you can pass along these types of virtues that all of us need to practice, and the world would be a better place if we had more of it. So regardless of whether you're a winner or not of this prize, I hope that the 99% of you that don't get it will also understand that these are important. And I'm sure many of you have it, but we need to practice consideration and thoughtfulness and things that are make the world a better place. So please practice that when you can, and that'll be a big lesson learned at Milton, and hope it will carry you forward in your work wherever that takes you. And thanks for letting me speak with you today. I enjoy this very much.
We will now present the Grade 7 awards, which I will be reading on behalf of Sue Austin, the Grade 7 Dean. The first recipient of the Edward R. Foley Award is held with high regard amongst her peers. Her selflessness, consideration for others, and high level of responsibility were notable traits when her peers nominated her. Here are some anecdotes shared about this individual. She is very kind and a great leader. She has been a super helpful person around the cohort and super nice to everyone she interacts with. One classmate exclaimed, "This individual always tries her hardest to be helpful and respectful to teachers and students." A lot of times when people are having a tough time, being sore losers, sore winners, or just having a hard time following the rules, this person is the one kid who always is the one not to do that. I respect that of her, as she always does the right thing. Another classmate shared, "This person is always kind. She is willing to help others when they are having trouble and teach them so they understand. She is extremely smart and loves to share her ideas with her classmates to help them understand other points of views. She uses manners when talking to teachers and her fellow classmates. She is always doing her work to the best of her ability." Lastly, this classmate stated, "She is a good role model. She is always willing to help someone. She is respectful and always nice." It is an honor and privilege to share with the community the first recipient of this year's Edward R. Foley Award, Carmel Jagaselvan. The second recipient of the Edward R. Foley Award is recognized for her kindness, patience when working with others, and unselfishness. One classmate shared, "This individual is a leader and helps others out whenever they need a hand. She is very kind and respectful to others and always shows happiness in the classroom." Another stated, "She is always there for you, whether it is to hold the door for you or to help you with a question on homework. She is kind to everyone in the cohort and listens to everyone's ideas. In PE, she is always encouraging her teammates if they mess up. She was always lifting them up instead of putting them down. In fact, most of the time, she is not only cheering on people on her team, but people on the other team too, making everyone feel like even if they mess up, there are words of encouragement to make them feel better." Lastly, another classmate exclaimed, "She is always nice to people and respects the other members of the cohort and the teachers. She is never mean to people. She is an awesome person who cares about everybody in the cohort. She's always checking in and asking people how they're doing. She's also helped me study for tests before when I was confused, and she's stood up for our other friends when they needed it. It is an honor and privilege to share with the community the next recipient of the Edward R. Foley Award, Celia Greer." We will now move on to the Richard E. Sherbrooke Memorial Awards. A classmate of this first recipient shares, "He always does the right thing, even when nobody is watching. He is very nice and reasonable with everyone, always so supportive. He also respects the teachers and never talks over them." Another shared, "He is always open to helping and explaining things to others when there is an area of confusion. During times of confusion, he would be sure to explain quickly what we should do so the class can move further along. This peer has consistently showed respect to their peers. They never talk poorly about other people behind their back and always stand up to people." A cohort member stated, "He is always kind and he helps other students with their work. Even when he is having a bad day, he still listens to his peers and is friendly and supportive. When another student is having a bad day, he asks them how they are doing. I think this person has been a good friend to me throughout the year and a great classmate to everyone in the cohort overall. I believe that he demonstrates respect because he is always willing to listen and participate. He has integrity because he is always helping others and making sure he is truthful." A classmate exclaimed, "This individual has always been super kind and welcoming to everyone, especially the new students. He helps other students when they are struggling with their own work and does not laugh at me or get mad at me when I am absolutely awful at sports, unlike everyone else. Many people in this class look up to him, and I think he would be an excellent candidate for this awards." It is an honor and privilege to share with the community that the first recipient of this year's Richard Sherbrooke Memorial Award goes to Avanish Siruveri. Finally, the second recipient of the Richard E. Sherbrooke Award is also held with high regard amongst his peers. A classmate shares, "He is always kind to others and respects people's opinions. He gets along with everyone. I have never seen him be selfish or not kind to anyone. He always puts people before himself." One classmate exclaimed, "This person is always nice to everybody and goes out of his way to help people in need of help. He is always putting others before him. He makes sure that everyone around him has what they need or knows what they are doing. He's always supporting us and being respectful of our opinions. Another shared, he is super kind and fun. He is an angel. He is so kind and nice, and he respects right from wrong. He stands up for things that he feels are right and never hesitates to voice his opinion. He is respectful of all of those around him. One shared, this individual is always kind to every single person in the cohort. He always cheers us on in everything we do. There has never been a single moment where he hasn't shown his support for all of his peers. He is a great listener and is always ready to help. He is close to many people in the cohort. He is always looking out for others, whether it's on the field or in the classroom. He is not afraid to speak up in the middle school. Lastly, a classmate shared this simply worded yet powerful statement. He always sets the mood and brings a really happy aura to the room. He is so kind to everyone. It is an honor to share with the community the next recipient of this year's Richard Sherbrooke Memorial Award, William Nass. Congratulations, 7th graders. We will now present the Walter A. Beyer Award to the 8th grade students. The Walter A. Beyer Award is presented to grade 8 students who in every aspect of school life gives of themselves cheerfully and thoughtfully in a manner which best exemplifies the quality of patience, dependability, and loyalty for which Mr. Beyer is remembered. Previous recipients include Charlie Rebuck, Jenny Barrett, Luke Monick, Carly Gilson, Cameron Edgar, Catherine Shee, Jonah Renz, Carolyn Albright, Justin Chen, and Soraya Darvish. I would like to ask Mr. Bland to come up to share a few words about Mr. Beyer.
The Walter A. Beyer Class of 28 Memorial Award, named in honor of Walter A. Beyer, Class of 28, who taught mathematics at Milton from 1943 to 1974. If you had been a student here at Milton Academy in the years 1943 to 1974, you would have liked and respected Mr. Beyer. All those who knew him described him as patient, kind, and wholly devoted to working with students. He wanted everyone in his classes to succeed and was willing to give unsparingly of his time and energy to any student who would make the effort. Every morning at 8 a.m., he was at his desk, often surrounded by students who recognized and appreciated the support he gave. He was a coach all 3 seasons, football, basketball, and baseball. His ability to see how a student or team could improve and to communicate that information clearly often made the difference between success and failure for the individual or the team. With never a thought of his own personal image or gain, Mr. Beyer quietly sought out ways in which he could be of help to others. His patience, dependability, loyalty, and quiet strength helped many. When he retired after 31 years to his native state of Maine, it was with the respect and admiration of the entire community. Mr. Beyer passed away in 1974, leaving his wife, Audrey, also now deceased, and 2 sons who were Milton alumni. Henry G. Beyer, 63, class of 63, and Edward Ned Beyer, class of 1965. And now the presentation of the awards.
I would now like to welcome up Ms. Vasquez to give out the awards.
The first recipient of the Walter A. Beyer Award is held in high regard by her peers. Her peers appreciate her kindness as well as her ability to bring positivity and humor to any situation. They shared, "She has consistently been such a kind person. She's always happy to joke around with people and is so welcoming and friendly to anyone she sees. She can make anyone laugh no matter the situation. She always has a smile on her face and can make anyone happy by just being around them." Another classmate shared, "I think she's a very kind and respectful person. She's always open to helping you out if you need help and gets along with everyone." Her peers also commend her integrity and the way she uses her voice to be an upstander in our community. They stated, "She demonstrates respect, integrity, and ethical behavior through making sure that everyone's voice is heard and always wants the best for her fellow classmates." One specific classmate shared, "She always makes sure to include everyone. She's helped me and others through a lot and still uses her voice for change. And she's someone who uses their voice and opinion to stand up for others." It is my privilege to announce that the first recipient of the Walter A. Beyer Award is Grace O'Malley. The second recipient of the Walter A. Beyer Award was commended by his peers for his positivity, loyalty, and genuine care for others. Many peers spoke to his compassion and thoughtfulness. One classmate stated, "There's not a time I can remember where he did not act kindly towards others." Another classmate even highlighted the small acts of kindness this student has demonstrated throughout the year. They said, "He is consistently respectful, kind, and selfless. He has done big things like let me go before him when doing a lab in science, but has also done numerous little things like letting me get the hand sanitizer before him at lunch, or just saying something nice to me on a daily basis." His classmates appreciate his insightfulness and unwavering support. A peer shared, "Whether it be whenever I'm confused about a subject or just need some help with something, he is always there for me. In addition, he helps me by giving me new ideas rather than just the answer, therefore letting me struggle and figure things out on my own, which I really appreciate." This student has a natural tendency to be positive, and his peers found this to be contagious. One classmate shared, "He is energetic and constantly in a good mood, influencing everyone else around him to feel the same way." To summarize, one of his peers stated, "I do not think there has ever been a time I was with him and he did not make me smile. Whenever the world seems to get to be too much, he makes it better." It is my privilege to announce that the second recipient of the Walter A. Beyer Award is Alessi Jelani. The third recipient of the Walter A. Beyer Award is held with such high regard by her classmates. Her peers commend her thoughtfulness, generosity, and compassion. They value her willingness to support others, her genuine kindness, and her ability to understand how to support them best. In their words, "She constantly supports others and does whatever she can to help and encourage them, yet also gives people space or privacy when they need it. She's inclusive to everyone, and you can always have a good conversation with her. She always helps out other people if they need it. She's always explaining things to people and setting everyone up for success." Another classmate shared, "She is one of the nicest people I've ever met. No joke, she is legitimately the nicest person I've ever seen. She never thinks twice about helping someone." To summarize, one of her classmates stated, "She is unequivocally the most considerate person I know, as she literally embodies leadership and integrity every day. She always knows everything that is going on, always informing her peers what class is next, what homework we have, and due dates for assignments." It is my privilege to announce that the third recipient of the Walter A. Beyer Award is Kenzie Carty. The fourth recipient of the Walter A. Beyer Award was commended by her peers for her integrity, diligence, and kindness. Many of her peers spoke to her thoughtfulness and selflessness. One classmate shared, "She's the sweetest person I know and always helps anyone who needs it. She's a friend who would lend you her snack if you forgot yours, of course, before COVID times. And if someone is ever sad, she will cheer them up." Another stated, "She has consistently proven to be one of the most studious, respectful, and genuine people this year. A selfless member of the community, she acts as a role model for all." It is clear her classmates appreciate her unwavering support and encouragement. One classmate shared, "She always puts others before herself. She constantly encourages her classmates, and whenever I need help, she's always there to help and support me. She's been such a kind, hardworking, and great person in general throughout the year." One of her peers highlighted her appreciation for her friendship. "She's always been a grounding, compassionate, and loyal friend to me. She's kind to everyone and never fails to put a smile on anyone's face. She always looks out for me, especially when I have hard days, and I feel so grateful to have her as a friend." To summarize, as another classmate shared, "There has not been a day this year where she has not been kind to a person. She will go out of her way to ensure that everyone is feeling okay." It is my privilege to announce that the fourth recipient of the Walter A. Beyer Award is Caroline Blake.
Thank you, Ms. Thank you, Ms. Vasquez, and congratulations to the grade 8 students. We're now going to move on to an award that is presented to a middle school faculty member, the Talbot Baker Award. I'm going to welcome up Mr. Bland to read the citation and announce this year's winner of the Middle School Faculty Award.
Morning again, everyone. The Talbot Baker Awards are really special awards for faculty. They're actually meant to be for all faculty, K to 12. And the nominations for these awards come from faculty members' peers. The friends and family of the late Talbot Baker, who was class of 1925 at Milton, created the Talbot Baker Award in 1968. Its purpose is to provide a living memorial based on a confidence in the humanity of teachers and the quality of teaching, which Mr. Baker experienced first as a student and then as a parent of 3 graduates of the Academy. The goal of the Talbot Baker Award is to celebrate a number of members of the Milton community who manifest the qualities Mr. Baker exemplified. These include enthusiasm, vitality, energy, loyalty, leadership, dedication, determination, charm, humor, warmth, kindness, and concern, all of which are seen daily in the classrooms, dorms, sporting events, and other activities of campus life. It is my great privilege to read this citation for this year's recipient of the Talbot Baker Award to Emily Arsenault. We'll embarrass you a little bit with this citation, perhaps, and then ask you to come forward for also a fist bump. This was Emily Arsenault's first year as a full-time middle school faculty member. And in that time, she's demonstrated what it means to lead with grace, compassion, and humility. Emily is an innovator. She harnesses her creativity to enhance the learning experience of her students and the professional growth of her colleagues. Even in the early days of the pandemic, as many of us scrambled to make sense of online learning, Emily seized opportunities to try new modes of teaching and new forms of theatrical production. Our current grade 6 students benefited firsthand from Emily's dedication, her ingenuity, and her tireless work ethic, as she made sure that grade 5 play remained a meaningful experience for the students involved. Emily has embraced new leadership opportunities this year and has been an invaluable resource to students and colleagues. In her roles as grade 16 and the project manager for the middle school diversity, equity, and inclusion leadership team, she grounded her actions in intentionality, advocated for students, and promoted new ideas and programming that both honored and celebrated the experience of middle schoolers. Emily's students and coworkers share that she is, without a doubt, one of the best listeners in the middle school. Her thoughtful responses, actions, and follow-through speak to the care she feels for each and every community member. Her warmth, meticulous organization, and professionalism have benefited all of us this year, and I speak for the entire community when I express my gratitude, our gratitude, the gratitude of all of us for the joy that Emily brings to our middle school. For her many contributions to Milton, we present this Talbot Baker Award to Emily Arsenault.
Congratulations, Ms. Arsenault. All right, that brings us to the end of our programming for this morning. Thank you all so much for being here. I would especially like to thank Ms. Arsenault, Ms. Austin, Ms. Vasquez, and Mr. Bland for their contributions to today's event. I would also like to thank all those individuals who worked tirelessly behind the scenes, namely Ms. Cristoforo, Ms. Healy, Mr. Morvillo. Can we actually give a hand to those two and everyone in ATS who set this up? This is our first time doing this under 10, and just ATS, the facilities team, made it really wonderful. I would especially like to thank Ms. Hardaway, who, as some of you may know, has been working incredibly hard over the last few days, well, last few months, I would say, to really make sure that all these events are going off without a hitch. So if we could give Ms. Hardaway a round of applause. Students, if we could also just give all of you a round of applause. Thank you for being here this morning and all of your congrats on this year. I'm going to give a few instructions now of where we're going next. If I say something wrong, any grade level deans, please feel free to correct me. I'll start with grade 6. Grade 6, you are going to go back to wear and change into clothes that are appropriate for field day. And then you are going to head and meet on the quad that's right out front, in front of Ware, between the AMC, Ware, and Cox Library. Ms. Arsenault, thumbs up, that sounds good. All right, grade 6, that is what you are going to do. Grade 7, you are going to go back to your cohort spaces and not change yet. All right, we're gonna let the 6th graders change first. So grade 7 students, you're headed back to your cohort spaces. You're going to do cleaning up the first shift today. All right, so you'll be working with your cohort leaders and teachers to take down your classrooms, pack up your stuff. Please make sure to follow directions. There is a lot to do. But again, grade 7 students, you are not going to change right now. You should wait for the instruction to do so. Grade 8 students, we are going to have rehearsal for the closing ceremony tomorrow, but we're actually just going to stay seated until everyone has left. And then I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Vasquez and Ms. Hardaway to give us instructions for how we are going to lead the rehearsal. And Ms. Hardaway, do you have a... In case you didn't hear that, if you are an award recipient, can you please stand over here so we can get a picture of you before you head off to where you're going? All right, everyone. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.